everybody. HooperCast 98. Hey, everybody. It's the HooperCast. I'm Connor. You may notice a certain lack of another person here. Dustin. Hello. That's because Dustin and I did not record on our normal day. It is Saturday morning. It is actually probably the first time that it's the exact same day that this podcast gets dropped, and hopefully the first time it hurts your ears. It doesn't hurt your ears. God, Freudian slip. Does it hurt your ears? Do you guys not like listening? Does it actually hurt? I meant to say hit your ears in a soft way, but a good way. Dustin and I could not record on our usual Wednesday time. But what we do have is John actually went to Atlanta. John actually went up and met up with Dustin, and they both went and saw The Martian. So we've actually have a review of that. So I don't really have anything to contribute this week. So I'm just going to kick it over to Dustin and John with their review of The Martian, and then I'll see you guys afterward for a little bit of what's in theaters this week and maybe a little bit of what's coming up. So, Dustin, take it away, sir.
Hello, everybody. Dustin here with John.
Hello.
We just got done seeing The Martian, which is Ridley Scott's newest film, and it's in theaters now. John, what did you think about this film?
I thought it was quite good. It was interesting throughout. There wasn't really a slow period, and it wasn't amazing, but I thought it was very good.
Yeah, my initial hesitation for it was that we were just going to spend the whole time with Matt Damon, and how could they make that interesting?
That would not have been interesting.
No, not at all. So they had like 3 different stories that they were kind of going between at any given point, which would be him, NASA, and the crew that left him on Mars. So there were plenty of characters and plenty of things that were happening that were distinct and different from one another, so you were always kind of, you always had something to do.
Variety.
Yeah, exactly, variety. I guess we should synopsis the film really quick. So the film is about Matt Damon, who is part of a crew that is on Mars doing research, and
Mars is a planet.
Mars is a planet.
We should tell people.
Yeah, you may not know. You may not be aware, but there are other planets in our solar system.
Not everyone's a scientist.
This is true. Our solar system is a grouping of planets,
yes,
which all orbit, which is just a fancy way of saying they go around of the sun, and Mars is one of them.
Yes.
So Mars is not our closest,
no,
but it's there.
It's up there.
Right. And so Mars, they're doing some research up on Mars.
Yep.
And there's a storm, and they decide to leave. But guess what? A satellite dish breaks off in the storm, and impales him.
Gut punches him
right into the dirt.
Flies like 20 feet away, like Wile E. Coyote.
But they don't find him, so they leave. And they're like, he's dead, he's gone.
The storm is imminent, and they have to leave.
Correct. Yep. Imminent is a fancy way of saying upon us.
Yes.
Soon.
Oncoming storm.
It's an upcoming new release storm.
If Val Roker was on Mars, he'd be like, here's what's happening in your neck of the woods. It's a fucking storm.
It's here.
You need to leave immediately.
I don't know why you're even still here.
The storm is imminent. It's upon us.
But, man, so they leave him, and then Matt Damon has to, figure out scientifically how to survive until another manned mission can come get him.
Yes.
Which is 4 years away.
Yes. Although it ended up not being that long. It ended up being a little
spoiler
over
alert.
A year, it seemed like.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert, yes. Forgive me.
Black leg over here. It wasn't that long. The film has Matt Damon, Jessica Chastain, Kate Mara,
Sebastian Stan.
Yeah, the Winter Soldier's up in here. We've got Michael Pena.
Jeff Daniels.
Jeff Daniels is in it.
Yeah.
Kristen Wiig.
Yeah.
Donald Glover.
Yeah.
I could keep going.
Chiwetel
Ejiofor He's up in here. You may know him from 12 Years a Slave.
Yep.
Or Serenity,
and
the film.
From the list of names that are hard to say.
Yes, he's also on that list.
Yes.
Along with Adewale Ojibikwe Andalue, or whatever his name is.
Abagajay.
Mr. Echo.
Mr. Echo.
Where's my brother? You are not Yemi.
Jimmy. Where is Jimmy?
Who are you? Who are you?
On the silent. We found a book.
Where's my buddy Yemi?
Oh, man.
John.
Charlie.
Anyway,
yeah, the film is a good movie.
Yes.
It's got some good stuff.
Some nice visual effects.
Some great visual effects.
Yeah.
It's a compelling story, and
Yes.
it's quite. I don't want to say emotional, but you do feel it at the end. You do. It's not like. So we were comparing this to Ridley Scott's earlier films, or not earlier films, but later films,
Yes.
like the latest ones.
Yes.
Like Exodus,
Yes.
and what else did we say?
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood.
I almost said that like French. Robin Hood?
Robin Hood. No, basket.
He's in the basket.
Basket.
My dear emotional lady, why should I? Safe to say that Robin Hood movie wasn't as good as the Robin Hood movie we're quoting.
Correct.
Yeah. Prometheus.
Prometheus. Yeah. So all were rich movies that I didn't care for. I could not get through his Robin Hood. Did you get through?
I didn't even check out the Robin Hood.
Yeah, no.
It looks so terrible.
Honestly,
and bland.
There are movies, like very few movies that I can't get through, but that's one of them.
It looks.
It was so boring.
Yeah, I didn't
it was
check it out.
so boring.
Yeah.
And like you said, Disney's already done it.
Why do it again?
It was great.
Yeah. There've been live action ones.
Oh yeah,
for
absolutely.
decades. So.
Yeah.
It was a story that didn't need to be told.
Right. If you prefer Kevin Costner, or Errol Flynn, go see that one. Whatever.
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Robin Hood Men in Tights. You can take a pick.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this was definitely more akin to old school Ridley Scott, with sort of a restraint to the scope of the film and whatnot.
Yeah.
And which a lot of his movies have not had lately.
No.
So yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I thought it was quite good.
It was also a very funny movie.
It was.
It was
funny. It was funny. There was a guy beside us that was just cracking up at everything.
Seth Rogen should have been the astronaut in that guy's eyes, I think.
I know, exactly. I think he thought it was going to be a comedy. He was just prepared for it.
He thought it was Neighbors 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a couple cool references to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes.
And to Lord of the Rings. Oh, Sean Bean is in this movie.
Sean Bean is also in...
Sean Bean's in the movie.
Wait, what?
Did I say Danny Glover or Donald Glover earlier?
I think you said Donald Glover.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Danny Glover may have been in it.
You never know. I don't know what he's up to these days. He might have been like a grip.
He's too old for that shit. He's not anything. Grip.
Grip, Danny Glover. He's a PA.
What happened to you? What happened in life?
You want some more coffee, Mr. Scott?
He's like someone like low levels assistant. Donald Glover, you want more coffee?
I do, Danny
Someone
Glover.
who's not in the movie very much.
Yeah, we enjoyed it, and we had a good time with the movie. And so I think the thing everybody's going to be talking about is whether this is scientifically accurate. But John and I had also spoken after the film about how we don't feel like that's really valid film criticism. As long as the laws of science work within the universe you have established,
right, then
you're good. You know?
As long as it doesn't feel so out of place that you would sit there and go, that doesn't work.
Right, exactly.
As long as the average person wouldn't, notice that fact was off. I don't think that matters.
Right, exactly. No, I agree. So, yeah, I mean, I think it does just that, and whether it's all completely accurate or not, I cannot attest to that. But it's a good movie, and you should check it out while it's in theaters. I think it has a 90-something on Rotten Tomatoes, so everybody seems to be enjoying it, and I think we were in that same boat.
Yeah.
So, anything else, John? Nothing? He's shaking his head at me. Like, he's also flipping me off. And he's also, I don't know, showing me his nipples, I guess. But,
look at them.
Look at these nipples.
These nips.
Cheese nips.
These nips.
These nips. But yeah, alright.
Yeah.
Well, back to you then, Hooper.
Yes.
I don't know what you're doing. Back to you.
In your neck of the woods.
And let's see what's happening in Hooper's neck of the woods.
That's going to be the new sign-off.
It is.
That's not good.
We're just going to ape it straight from Al Roker. That's ours now. You can't use it anymore, Al.
Get out of here, Al. You hack.
You lost too much weight. You're not Al Roker anymore.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Okay, bye.
All right. That was good. Al Roker.
All right. That was my first time listening to that. That's funny. That was a good review. I enjoyed that. It's funny. I work for an NBC affiliate, and I did not know the Your Neck of the Woods thing for Al Roker. I'm a brand trader. Well, that's good. I'm sad I missed that. Anyways, what I've got for you guys for the rest of this episode, just a couple of quick things, really. I wanted to maybe kind of go over what I'm watching right now, which Dustin and I did fairly recently, but I figured that some of it had changed for me. We obviously are caught up on Fear of the Walking Dead. That might have been what we had talked about this week if we had been able to record on time. So I imagine Dustin and I can probably talk about that for the next episode. And also maybe talk about the season premiere of The Walking Dead, which premieres tomorrow, October 11th on AMC. The season 6 premiere. So maybe we can talk about a lot of zombie stuff. As you guys know, I'm kind of in the middle of the Muppets and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as well. Don't really have thoughts on those right now to give you, aside from, the season premiere stuff, but not enough. Still in the middle of the league by way of the internet. So thank you, internet. And no thank you, FXX, you sons of bitches and your stupid premium content BS. Still in the middle of Doctor Who, which I'm really enjoying so far this series. And kind of in the middle of Bob's Burgers, probably behind Dustin. But that's like my nighttime comedy indulgence. And I'm about to start Archer. Now that I've caught up on every season of Justified that's on Amazon Prime, I need a new Prime show that I can watch on my phone. And Archer is going to be that show because since I'm watching Bob's Burgers, I'm kind of on an H. John Benjamin kick, so I'm going to watch Archer as well. So I've got the whole first season on my phone. It's going to be kind of late train getting on that, but I've heard great things, so I'd like to get on that train. Okay, so also in theaters right now, there's only a couple movies that really stuck out to me. I'm sure there's others that other people might like, but this is my show, so I'm going to talk about mine. The first one is The Walk, which I guess is, I don't know. I'm interested and I'm not. I mean, I don't want to be dramatic, but I feel like, okay, so the movie's about the guy who did the tightrope walk between the World Trade Center towers. World Trade Center 1 and World Trade Center 2, the Twin Towers. It stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt. So I believe it's the same guy who was in the Man on Wire documentary. I believe. It may not be. There's a lot of tightrope walkers out there, but I thought they were both French dudes. And yeah, Philippe Petit. Hang on, let me Google that because now I feel responsible for. I feel responsible for making sure. Yeah, that's him. I can already tell by his strange face. Yeah, so Joseph Gordon-Levitt's going to play that guy who looks a lot more like if Paul Bettany was badly burned in a fire, basically. Sorry, Philippe Petit, but I'm sorry. That was so mean. I'm sorry, Philippe. You've accomplished more than I have in your life. Anyway, look, it's probably a good film. a little bit of me, and I usually don't say things like this, but a little bit of me feels like it's sort of playing on like 9/11 imagery. And I hate to say that. I don't like that I think that, but I can't help it. Every time I see one of the trailers, I mean, there's the towers, and I'm just like, oh, there, and you can't help but think about September 11th. I can't help but think about September 11th every time I see the Twin Towers. They were in Bicentennial Man. Every time I see a movie that was in pre 9/11 New York, they're there. And I'm sorry, but you don't look at those towers anymore and think of World Trade. You maybe you don't, but I can't get the image of a plane going into them out of my head, or people jumping from it out of my head. So I'm sorry to depress you about this movie. I'm sure it's good, but part of what sticks in it with me is that the Twin Towers are in there, and it's just maybe I don't know. I guess we should move on from it, but I can't get that out of my head. That's not why I'm not seeing it. I don't have any money, but if you want to see it, check it out. It's got a good cast. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Ben Kingsley, James Badge Dale, who you may not know by name, but you've seen that guy. He was that main bad guy, the bald henchman in Iron Man 3. He was also one of the main characters in The Pacific. He's in a lot of movies, and he's a real interesting actor. I want to keep my eye on that guy. So just check it out, maybe. A couple others. The big one is probably going to be Pan, in terms of kids, families, and a lot of money and stuff at the box office. So and I knew about this because I was poking around Hugh Jackman's Instagram a couple years ago, and he was bald, and I was curious why. This movie, I guess he's top billed, but this is a strange movie, and this is another one of those. What studio is this? Sorry, I need to know. Warner Brothers. Okay. How'd they get the rights to Peter Pan? I don't know. Anyway, I'm a little surprised this isn't a Disney movie. That's weird. That's very weird. Okay, well, anyway, look. So this movie is kind of I'd say it's like an origin story of Peter Pan, because it's all, but another one of those where the CGI and the visual effects are much more advanced than what will be later movies, like the 1950 whatever Peter Pan, the classic Disney film, and Hook. I'd like to think that this, Peter Pan, and Hook are all like a trilogy, and this is the first film in it, and the culmination being Hook. So this is like an origin story for Peter Pan, where there's this whole thing in Neverland that's the prophecy of the boy who can fly, who will lead an uprising against Blackbeard, played by Hugh Jackman, and Garrett Hedlund plays Captain Hook before he has a hook for hand, and he's Peter Pan's friend, and I think Rooney Mara is Tiger Lily. So maybe it's fun, I'm sure it's fun. The ships fly too, so that's new. I don't know. It's kind of someone else's strange take on Peter Pan, and it's fun. I personally don't care for it, the idea, but others might. So it looks very well executed, and it'll be fun and a good little family adventure. So check that out if you have families or like adventures. And then the main one I'm got my eye on is Steve Jobs, the Aaron Sorkin, who directed this? Danny Boyle, the Aaron Sorkin, Danny Boyle film about Steve Jobs. Right from the outset, as I said, this looks way better than Jobs, starring Ashton Kutcher and directed by, Ashton Kutcher's uncle or something. It's starring Michael Fassbender as Steve Jobs. You got Seth Rogen as Steve Wozniak. You got Kate Winslet, Jeff Daniels. You got Michael Stuhlbarg. You got some good people in here. So I hope that it doesn't get too Sorkinized. I've said this before, so I won't harp on it too much. I hate Aaron Sorkin. I hate his smugness, and I hate his little conversations that I can't help but thinking his scripts are just witty conversations he has with himself, which I can have a witty conversation with myself too. It's not hard. I've done it before. You should see some of my scripts. They're strange arguments no one else would understand but me, and I think they're brilliant, but they're probably terrible. So I can't help but think there's a little bit of that in Aaron Sorkin. However, he's a professional screenwriter and I'm not, and people like his movies, and they would probably hate mine. So that's something to consider. He writes very engaging dialogue and very engaging characters and things that are interesting to watch. And Danny Boyle makes movies that are interesting to watch. So I can't help but feel good about this film, despite that I don't like Aaron Sorkin, but I don't see him often enough to where he repels me like other Hollywood people or actors. So this is a good pairing of talented people with great source material and an enigmatic main character. So this should do well. So I hope it does. Anyway, okay, well, that's going to do it this week for the HooperCast. Sorry it was a little shorter, but I don't think you really care. So have a good weekend, everybody. We'll see you next week for the 99th episode, where Dustin and I can talk about the Walking Dead stuff. And then soon after that, the 100th episode of the HooperCast. We're going to go over our top 5 superhero movie lists, and that's going to be cool too. And then the next 100, who knows? Could be anything, man. Could be anything. Anything you want. Whatever you imagine is where your heart can go. Never the treasure, time without measure. That's a song from the Page Master. It's a deep cut right there. So check out the Page Master too. That's seriously, that's a good movie. Anyway, hey, I'm gonna go. So goodbye, everybody. Enjoy your weekend and stay hooping.